What's up, y'all? Welcome back to a video with your boy Dion. I know it's been a little while since I made a long form video. Y'all probably been waiting, like, where this man been at, where his videos been at, he's tripping, whatever. But I'm back, man, and I'm here to make another banger for y'all so y'all can get some more information on y'all career, your athletic career, and how y'all can better your athletic career. So in today's video, what we're gonna be talking about is, should y'all be playing 3 sports in high school? Because this is a big topic. A lot of people want to know if they should be or if they shouldn't be, when it comes to like going towards college sports, or just in general, if you should be doing it, if it's good for your body, and if it's just overall a beneficial thing. So that's what we're gonna be talking about today. That's what the whole video is going to pretty much be about. And pretty much we're going to talk about each situation where it will be beneficial and situations where it won't really be as beneficial. But if y'all haven't already, go ahead and like, subscribe, and show your boy some love if y'all haven't already. But look at this. I'm wearing that Stoneberg merch today, man. Like, I never do that. Like, I had this for all these years, but I never wear this stuff anymore. So, I don't know. It's different. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still bleed blue. I'm still a Delaware blue hen. It's just a little cool today, so I had to throw a little heavier sweatshirt on, and this was the one. But let's jump into the video. Alright guys, let's jump into the video. So during this video, I'm going to be throwing up some clips of me back in high school when I was doing my 3 sports. I played basketball, football, and track. I wanted to start off with that so you guys understood who I am and what I did in high school. So I was obviously a 3-sport athlete, but it doesn't mean that you guys should be. But first off, let's talk about how this will benefit you as an athlete. This will really benefit you as an athlete because, first off, if you're not playing some sports during some off seasons, like say you're just working out, which is a great thing, I'm fine with that. You guys want to work out in the off season, and you want to keep your edge for your main sport. But when you're doing that, you're not necessarily getting that competitiveness that you need as a competitor, as an athlete. You need to be in competition with somebody to make yourself better, to make yourself more competitive, to take your level of competitiveness to the next level. So that's one thing that is a benefit of being a 3-sport athlete, because there's no time that you're not in a place where you're just a competitor. Like, you're always competing to be the best at every sport you're doing all year round. So that's just one benefit that you guys can get from being a 3-sport athlete. It just really boosts your competitiveness as an athlete, which is a great thing, because that's what you need as an athlete. You need to be a competitor. If not, then you'll never really be a great athlete. Another benefit that comes along with being a 3-sport athlete is that in each sport, you move your body differently. For basketball, you move your body differently than football. You move your body differently from football to track. You move your body different from track to basketball. So in each sport, you have to move your body differently so you can be successful in that sport. So this will pretty much train your body and help you control your body just a little bit better than you did before you started playing that other sport that wasn't already your main sport. So this helps a lot, because when you can move your body better than your defender or somebody that you're going against, it gives you an advantage over your opponent, which will make you better and make you obviously be able to dominate your opponent. And this is a key thing in sports, and people don't understand how crucial this is, to have that advantage over your opponent so you can win. So this is another thing that you guys need to know, that it really helps improve the movement of your body, and that's important, y'all. That's really important, because also this will prevent injuries too. If you guys didn't know, if you move your body better, this will obviously prevent you guys from getting injured when you're playing your sports. That's just obviously, that's a direct correlation. Like, that makes perfect sense. Like, I don't know, you guys should already know that, but yeah. Another benefit that comes along with being a 3-sport athlete is, when you're playing 3 sports all year round, it helps with your consistency as an athlete. It helps you stay dedicated and motivated all year round, so you don't ever get lazy, and you're always dedicated to some kind of sport or something. So when you do get to that next level, if you're trying to do that, or whatever you're trying to do with your sport, you get to that next thing, then you're already dedicated, you are consistent in whatever you do in life. So that's another great big thing that helps out when you're a 3-sport athlete. It just makes you be a consistent person, a reliable person, a dedicated person, even if you didn't want to, because you're playing sports all year round, guys. So this is another thing that really benefits 3-sport athletes. Okay, guys, now that we looked at all the benefits of being a 3-sport athlete, of course we got to look at all the cons and all the negatives of being a three-sport athlete, because that is crucial. You guys need to know that, because you know, before you get into something, you want to know what bad can come out of it before you just start doing stuff. You know, that's just a bad idea. All right, guys. So the first one we start off with is you just have no time in the year. You have no time after school, any time of the year, which, I mean, isn't really a bad thing, but it really isn't a good thing either, because you got to think, like, what else are you going to do after school anyways, rather than go to, you know, better yourself, if you're an athlete, of course. I mean, obviously, if you're not interested in sports, then you wouldn't be watching this video, but yeah, like, what else would you do with your time? You're an athlete, so you have no time, but hey, it comes with being an athlete, man. It just makes it harder, obviously, when you're trying to do schoolwork. You got homework, you got projects, you know what? You guys already know, but yeah, you have no time throughout the year if you're a three-sport athlete, and that's just one of the cons that you have. The next con that comes with being a three-sport athlete is if you're not careful while being a three-sport athlete, you can actually injure yourself, because you actually have to take care of your body really, really well, because you're playing sports all year round. It's a lot of wear and tear on your body, so you really got to be careful in your sports. You got to eat right, you got to lift, of course, you got to work out and make sure you're strong enough, you're healthy enough, and you're just prepared for each sport, each season. Because the only break you might have just for a little bit is just a little bit, maybe in between each season, and a little bit after the spring sport is over, like between like summer and before you have to go back to like your fall sport. So that's the only break you'll really be able to get. So you got to be really, really critical about how healthy you are, and you got to take care of your body if you really want to do this. Like, if you really do it and you don't get hurt and everything works out, it's really going to be super beneficial. But if you mess up and you don't take care of yourself, then obviously you're going to be in a bad situation where you're probably going to get hurt, twist an ankle, break a bone, you know, it's anything, pull a muscle. So you guys got to be very careful when it comes to being a three-sport athlete. You got to take your body very seriously, and you got to, you know, kind of stay away from all that partying and, you know, alcohol and all that. You just got to leave that for everybody else, because it's a dedication. You got to be dedicated to your sport if you really want to do this, man. So yeah, the last con that, you know, kind of sucks while being a three-sport athlete is sometimes your sports run into each other. Like, say your one sport is ending because you guys went far, you guys went to the championship, whatever it is, it kind of runs into your next sport, which is starting up. You're going to your first track meet if you're coming from basketball season, or if you're going to your state championships game for football and you're trying to go to basketball, you know, it might run into each other, which kind of sucks. But at that time, you got to make a executive decision with yourself. What sport is more important to me? Which one is my main sport? Then you got to be like, I got to stick with this one until this one's done, or if I got to go to that sport, I got to leave this sport to go to that one. But it's really up to you guys what you want to do in that situation. I've always been that type of guy, so if it was something that had to do with football and I had to go to basketball season, I would stick with football because I'm a football player. That's my main sport. Even though I love basketball and I love playing basketball in high school, it's just like I had to make that decision myself. And you know, it's not too hard, but it is a hard decision. But yeah, that's what you got to do. You just got to make that decision. But that's another con. The sports do run into each other sometimes, which kind of sucks. But I think, like, it's not that big of a deal. So next, what we're going to talk about is what sports are actually able to be three-sport athletes. Because I'm sure you guys that are watching right now are wondering if you can actually do it with your sport, your main sport being your main sport. So that's what we're going to talk about next. Come on, let's jump into it. All right, when talking about this, of course, in every sport, you can probably join a travel team, and, you know, you can be on travel teams on the off season. So obviously, I mean, you could say about anything, you can't really do this with any sport, but it just depends on how bad you really want it when it comes to this topic. There's not really a specific sports that fit in this category. It just matters on how dedicated you are to being a great athlete. So say that your football season ended. I know a lot of football players train in the winter time, and then come springtime, you have 707s, because that's what I did when I was in high school, which makes sense because you're supposed to do that. And you got camps coming up too. It's all in the same season. But so what you could do, because also during that season there is track season, there's a spring season where you can play another sport or baseball. So what you can do is you can kind of just like play both of the things at the same time. Play that travel squad 707 team while you're also playing baseball or you're running track or whatever sport you're playing in the spring. You just got to be dedicated to it. You got to communicate with your coaches and tell them what's going on each weekend. And you just got to make those executive decisions like I was just saying before in the last couple clips. because it just really depends on what you think is more important to you as an athlete and what sport is more important to you. But that's what it really comes down to. I promise you guys, if you guys do this, it will really make you guys better athletes. It'll make you stronger, faster, and more athletic than any opponent that's going to go against you that's not doing the 3-sport athlete, obviously. Of course, if they're going to do it in the 3-sport athlete, it comes down to whoever works harder. But yeah, I'm telling you, this is a beneficial thing to do. But there are some sports that work better when it comes to being a 3-sport athlete than others. Like track, you can be a 3-sport athlete. It's a little bit easier to be a 3-sport athlete with track, because once track ends, it kind of ends unless you join an AAU team and you go out of your way to go do track. But when track ends, it kind of ends, and you can make all your accolades within the season time, and it's over. And also with football, you can do the same thing. I know I said I was just talking about the 7-on-7, but once football season over, there isn't really another football season. It's just a 7-on-7, or going to college football camps, which really isn't a season. So like, you're not really dedicated on a set schedule. Each Saturday or each Friday you have a football game. So there are some sports that work better with this than others, but like for example, a sport that will be a little bit harder to be a 3-sport athlete with is basketball. I'm going to be honest. If you're really dedicated to in the sport of basketball and soccer too, if you're dedicated to these sports, I know a lot of people actually they actually do these sports all year round, which isn't a bad thing. They have the AAU tournaments for basketball. Soccer has a travel team, soccer team. You can do it all year round. I know a lot of people from my high school that play soccer, they were doing soccer all year round. They were never stopping playing. But there's no problem with that. I mean, honestly, if you're going to do that all year round, it kind of is the same thing. But it is better to get some versatility in your arsenal. You know what I'm trying to say? But yeah. The next topic we're going to go over is this going to benefit you when it comes to recruiting? Is this going to help you have a better chance of getting recruited? So my answer to this is I've never heard of any college coach saying that it's a bad thing for somebody to play another sport and be a 3-sport athlete or playing multiple sports. I've never seen this in any of my time being an athlete. I've never seen a college coach get mad at somebody for playing more than one sport. Maybe if you're recruited, maybe if you're committed to a school and it's your senior year and you already finished your sport, maybe they'll be like, don't play this sport. We want you to just be healthy by the time you get here. That makes sense. But like, I've never seen a college coach be like, we don't want you to play more than one sport, because they understand you're an athlete and you're going out to, be the best at everything you can do. So the thing is, a lot of times when it comes to college coaches, they actually want you to play more than one sport, because they don't want you to be sitting around and being lazy for 2 seasons or a season, or just sitting around. They don't want to see the athlete that they're recruiting to be sitting around and just being a lazy body. That's not what they want to see at all, and that's not what they want to hear about. So they know if you're playing 3 sports or 2 sports, they know you're at least doing something during them seasons, because you're dedicated and you're committed to going to those practices and going to those meets or going to those games. So in a lot of cases, it actually helps you. And at least I know for a fact, at least in football, it definitely helps you. College coaches in football love to see players being 3-sport athletes. Even though basketball and football really don't correlate, and they probably wouldn't, out of all other sports, they probably wouldn't want you to play basketball. They still like to see it, just because you're still active, you're still getting some work in, you're still getting that basketball flexibility and that basketball athleticism and the jumping ability in basketball that you gain. So it's definitely something that you like to see, for sure. So honestly, what I would say, when it comes to benefiting you in recruiting, I would say it actually does benefit you, because college coaches have no problem really with you playing more than one sport, unless you're already committed and you're a senior. And obviously, guys, if you're committed to a school, you're a senior, and you already know where you're going for what sport, then you can go ahead and play your season. But for me, I would play it safe and be like, all right, I'm already good to go. I have my scholarship, I have my full ride. They're ready to bring me in. I would just mainly work out on that certain sport, whatever you're getting recruited for, and focus on that until you get to college. And then obviously from there, you're only gonna be playing that sport. But it's up to you guys. That's again an executive decision you got to make with your athletic career, and you guys get to make that decision. But overall, college coaches do like to have 3-sport athletes and athletes that play more than one sport. All right, next we're going to be talking about what sports actually correlate with each other and what sports you can actually play when you're trying to be a multi-sport athlete. And obviously, guys, this has to do with what sports fall in which season and which sports actually are good for each other. Whereas when it comes to like your body and switching from this sport to this sport and that sport to this sport, and how that all plays out. So a couple sports that actually correlate pretty well with each other is football and track. Of course, everybody knows those two are just bread and butter. Of course, peanut butter and jelly, them joints are just perfect for each other. This one's gonna ruffle some feathers, but I think, honestly, I think that basketball and football are a good correlation or a good combination, because you gotta think like this. All right, some people say you get the football leagues and you get the basketball leagues, or whatever it is, whatever they call it, like where you can't jump aside when you come from football to basketball. But the thing is, when you're playing football and you go to basketball, you actually get like, it helps you jump higher, and in football it helps you get stronger because you you work out a little bit a little bit harder. I know a lot of basketball players be like, oh, misses up my shot. No, it doesn't, bro. It really doesn't. Like, do you think the NBA players, do you think they don't lift because do you think they messes up their shot? That's not true. Like, come on, man. That's just a myth. Like, it does not mess your shot up anyways. Like, I don't know why whoever came up with that, makes no sense. Obviously, after you just lift it and you have an arm pump, the ball's gonna be a little bit lighter than it was before, but it doesn't really mess your shot up. You think LeBron's not working out, or Russell Westbrook, or any of them guys in the NBA? Like, I mean, maybe not Kevin Durant. Nah, I'm just playing. But football and basketball, I think, is a great correlation to each other. They work really well together. Another two sports that work really well together is track and soccer. They're in two opposite seasons. One's in fall, one's in spring. So I think those are really good for each other. And plus, in soccer, you run a lot. Track, all you do is run. So I think they correlate perfectly. What else? I think swimming and track actually go really well together because you need a lot of endurance. I think if you're a long distance runner in track, it correlates really well with swimming because you need a lot of endurance for swimming, and track provides the endurance for swimming, and swimming provides the endurance for track, and vice versa, because you need a lot of endurance for both of those sports if you're a long distance runner. Even if you're not a long distance runner, you still gain pretty good endurance. What else? Another sport that works really well together is baseball and football work really well together. That's a great combination. It's a slept-on combination. Not many people think about that, but baseball and football really work well together. You gotta think, because you're working out hard for baseball, you're up body so you can, hit them home runs. You want to be fast so you can get to that base and you don't get tagged out. Football, you work out really hard so you can play really well on the field, and you run fast. You gotta be fast and athletic to obviously perform really well on the field, obviously, when you're playing. So I think those two really correlate really well. It's really a slept-on one. I wish, honestly, when I was back in high school, I tried baseball at least once. I never even played baseball before, but I wish I did back before. But, I mean, can't dwell on the past. So the next topic we're going to be talking about, guys, is the professional athletes that played 3 sports in high school. So let's get into it. So first off, let's just name a few for you guys, some popular names that you guys might know, might not know. I don't know what you guys know, but first off, Russell Wilson, actually, he wanted to the MLB straight out of high school, and he dropped out of the MLB to go to college football. So we can start off with that first. I know everybody knows Russell Wilson, and this man was a 3-sport athlete. If you guys didn't know, he played baseball, played football. I don't know what his last sport was, but I'm sure he played something. And he was about to go to the MLB. He dropped out. He opted out to go play college football, and look at him now. He's that guy. Another one to name is Allen Iverson. I know you guys know Allen Iverson. If you say you don't know Allen Iverson, you're a liar. Anyways, he played 3 sports. He played football, basketball, and he ran track. This man was a beast in all 3 sports. You guys seen him. You saw see the 60 for 60. Y'all seen his documentaries on ESPN. This man was a GOAT. This man was a dog. So there you go, another one. Another one that you guys may not have known about is Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders, primetime Neon Deion. He played 3 sports in high school, man. I'm sure he ran track, obviously. He played football. He probably played basketball, too. I'm not sure about his 3rd sport. But, yeah, Deion Sanders, one of the fastest players out there. He played 3 sports in high school. Another person, someone you guys might know, you might not know. He's an older player, way back before. Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson, man. One of the fastest athletes, one of the fastest football athletes out. One of the fastest ever. Yes, he played 3 sports. Let me name another one you guys might not know about. Alright, I'm not gonna say that. But y'all know what? Where y'all gonna know what I'm about to say? What I was about to say before I said it. But Mr. Mike Vick, number 7, Mr. Falcon, Mr. Eagle, Mr. QB1, Mr. Change the NFL Forever for QBs. Mike Vick was a 3-sport athlete, man. You can obviously tell. Look how he was a dog. He's a dog, man. He was fast. He was strong. I mean, he did get hit a few times, but he was a dog, man. He was also a 3-sport athlete. So this is a few names that y'all probably didn't know about, or maybe y'all did. I don't know what y'all know, but these are some guys that were 3-sport athletes in high school, and look at them now. Look what they accomplished in their life, in their athletic career. So that is actually gonna pretty much wrap up the video, guys. That's pretty much all. If you haven't liked, subscribed, and shown your boy some love, go ahead and do that. Leave me a comment down below, man. Let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know what sports you guys play down below, and yeah, just let your boy know, man, because I'm curious to know myself. I want to know if there's a lot of 3-sport athletes out there, or if more people just focus on their individual main sport. That's important. But without further ado, that's going to pretty much wrap this video up. So we about to be out, man. See ya.